The conversation's on site. SK Vibemaker Ness. We are here. Like, subscribe, and share.
Buckle.
We've been having some good episodes, man. We're back in the virtual room, man. I'm one side of the UK. Ness is another side of the UK. But we still make this happen for you. And as you can see, for all those looking at the visuals, for all y'all listening, you might not be able to see. But if you've got the visuals, you can see me in my Kendrick Lamar t-shirt. Yeah. But like, Ness is very much on theme as well, man. He's made his allegiances very clear today of what side of California he is representing, man.
OnSite with the etiquette of LA, screaming, Master!
For a very important reason, because there was someone who definitely took part in the halftime Super Bowl show and shut it down. A lot of people have had things to say. I liked it a lot. One of my favorite performances, halftime Super Bowl show. Kendrick Lamar up there on the stage, performing the bangers, trolling, performing bangers, getting a lot of attention, but we loved it. I went to sleep, then I woke up, and I was just in time for the performance. Didn't really care about who was playing football, American football, the audacity of these Americans. You know what I'm saying? Kansas Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. But yeah, you know, Kansas were getting a whooping, but we didn't care about that. Halftime show is what we was there for. And I feel like you watched a bit of the football, didn't you? The American football, shall we say, Ness?
Yes, the American football. We would call it by its name. You get me? We could call it grab and throw, but we're not going to do that. Yeah, so my evening was set good. You get me? So I was all prepared. Everyone got sent to bed. The whole house got sent to bed. I was up by myself.
What?
I got enough.
You sent everyone to bed like the headmaster.
My children
I love it.
Are very young. They go to bed at 8 p.m. They're not staying up till midnight to watch no football and halftime show. But anyway, so everyone got sent to bed.
I bet if it was Arsenal, you'd be having them stay awake though, right?
I'll take my little man to the game. Come on. But anyway, so what I'm saying is this now. So everyone got sent to bed. I was up by myself. I got on the phone to my mum. My mum hit me with we're having a proper America Day today. I'm like, what do you mean America Day? She was like, the mac and cheese, the chicken wings, all kinds of paraphernalia was going on. I said, I've jumped on Uber Eats now. I've ordered myself some chicken wings. My mum gave me the FOMO. I've ordered my chicken wings. So I was on the phone to both my mum and my brother. They had me on loudspeaker and they were telling me how good their afternoon was. You get me? So I'm on my phone. I'm on the phone now. I've come off the phone. I've jumped on Uber Eats. I'm ordering myself some chicken wings. You get me? Man's gonna get the Korean barbecue chicken wings and all this and that. And then I've got into a conversation with my missus, and the shop that I'm ordering from is closed. So now I'm annoyed. So I've had to scrap. You get me? I found the next thing. It's open late. I'm like, I'm in this. Bro, when I tell you these chicken wings came to my house, and basically what Boss Man has decided to do, and when I say Boss Man, you know who exactly I'm talking about. He's basically taken the hot wings that you get on the side of the Dixie, and just thrown sauce on it, bro. I ate 3 of these wings, and I threw them in the trash, bro. I was so annoyed, bro. You get me?
I feel like there's a teachable moment here, and I feel like to anyone, I don't feel like you're coming to us for like advice on where you should get your takeaway from, but just don't order from people that you don't usually order from. You have to go there and vet the place first, bro. Right? I'm not a takeaway guy, but continue all this, Mr. Ness.
When needs must needs. So I wasn't about to go to Tesco and start cooking because I would have missed the halftime show. Do you understand what I'm saying? So anyway, so that's happened. My mood's all over the place. I'm watching the match. The Eagles are absolutely obliterating the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro, Like, I know the basics. Like, I'm not an NFL man, innit? I'm not an NFL watcher. Like, I watch NBA. I did play basketball a little bit when I was a youth man, but I watch NBA as soon as the playoffs start. And it's weird because in England, we have a team for life. But I feel like in NFL, you just pick your team each season and you support that team and you hope they win. And if they go out, it is what it is. Because
don't lie.
It's not serious.
Don't lie.
Bro.
Is that what they do?
It's not serious like that out there. Like in this country, like we had hooliganism. We had people fighting on the street. Out there,
we ain't co-signing that as well. We're not co-signing that.
Yeah, but they don't even separate the, like when I went to a game at the Staples Center. I went to the Lakers versus the Warriors. Obviously, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they were all in their bag at the time. Now, obviously, Klay's left. We were not doing that. But LeBron James hadn't actually signed for the Lakers at this point. So the Lakers got whooped. But I'm sitting next to every kind of fan. There's no segregation, bro. I don't care. So anyway, I digress. Watching the game, it's a mad thing. And I'm a little bit upset because the food situation didn't pan out. But guess who's coming to halftime? It's King Kenny. So the closer we get to halftime now, the hyper my mood is getting. And at the time when that red circle comes up, the Apple Music halftime show, I can't even sit down, brother. But I don't know what to expect. I honestly do not know what to expect at this point. So then, boom, we're back inside the arena now. You get me? And I'm seeing a King Kenny standing on top of the GNX. Do you get what I'm saying? He's standing on top of the car. 100 man are coming out the back of this car. And I love that. I'm not going to lie. There was so much cultural relevance and so much things in this performance that I absolutely loved. Like the fact that absolutely everybody was in a Chuck Taylor shoe, barring Kendrick himself. And there was some Nike Air Shocks I saw at some point later in the show with some guys that were standing up holding onto the lamppost, like say there was hooligans, because obviously the Shocks are representative of the gang culture back in the 90s. Get me? So anyway, I'm watching this show and Kendrick's come out and he started performing a song and I'm like, why can't I sing along to this? For those of you that are meeting me at this moment in the podcast, I'd just like to reiterate to you, the people that have been watching for a period of time, we've got loads of episodes. Please go back and watch, they're on the audio streaming platforms and YouTube. I'm a resident member in the Kendrick Lamar Stan Club. I've held a residency for quite some time. We went,
and you didn't know the song that he started with, so it says a lot, right?
Well, it didn't say a lot. I'm saying like, what is this song? My man started his Super Bowl performance with an unreleased track, guys.
Do you think it was a mistake? Do you think that was a mistake?
I think it was extremely brave. I think, and I'm going to get to why I think that's extremely brave, but let me just run you through the emotions and emotions of my Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl. So boom, he's done his the unreleased track. Then he's gone into Man at the Garden. I'm getting mad. I'm in my vibe. You get me? I'm saying the bars that I know. You get me? It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Then Uncle Sam's come out. Samuel L. Jackson. And I'm like, okay. And he said, I can't remember what he said at first, but he said a thing like, because there was a few breaks that he said, but he said a thing like, what's all this ghetto stuff? You need to tighten up. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, because obviously the first few tracks Kendrick's performed are all off the more recent GNX project, which is 3 months old, maybe? All important. So then he's gone into his hits. He's done Humble. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then he's gone, I think, I don't have the track list to hand, but he's gone straight from Humble back into GNX. And I'm like, ooh.
He's gone Humble DNA.
Okay, he did DNA, obviously. Come on. Classics. So I'm like, okay, Kendrick, you're in. But then he's gone back to GNX. And I'm like, interesting. And then he's gone, there's another to and fro with Uncle Sam. And Uncle Sam's asked him, don't you know how to play the game? And now I'm like, this guy's a genius. This guy's a genius. Because I understand what's going on. Because ultimately, at the heart of this...
What did you take from that? Don't you know how to play the game?
Well,
Uncle Sam asking him
but that's what I'm saying. At the heart of this Super Bowl performance, there is a quite clear struggle between mainstream, just the mainstream, because the Super Bowl is not a music event. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's very mainstream. This is a global sport. So there's a battle that Kendrick is going through with mainstream and hip hop culture, which is why Samuel Jackson is referencing things being ghetto, asking him, do you know how to play the game? Which is, do you know how to, or I took it and how I imagine Kendrick was portraying it throughout this sequence is that, do you know how to remain yourself, but give the people what they want? And there's a battle because there's song choices going on. Does Kendrick go and do all the hits? Does he just go and do every single hit that we know? Does he just go, or does he remain integral? And I'm not saying Kendrick's hits are not integral, but is this what he's really representing? And Kendrick really went on the side of giving you what he represented, some real deeper hip hop tracks that I don't expect a lot of the Super Bowl crowd to have ever heard before, because I don't expect the majority of the Super Bowl crowd to have listened to GNX in the way that I would have. I'm part of the Kendrick Lamar Stan Club. anything that he releases, I'm gonna check out, and I'm gonna check for every Easter egg. I'm gonna listen for its entirety because I'm subscribing to the artist and the artistry. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then obviously it went on. Then he teased, should I do Not Like Us? That was the biggest talking point of the night. There's been a good couple weeks, may alone months, and a lawsuit on whether he was going to perform Not Like Us. And then you heard the synth or the horn, and you're like, crowd went mad, but he didn't do it. Goes off, does his tracks with SZA. I'm not gonna lie, when Luther dropped, I was gone. My head was gone. It was gone. I think that track personally is one that I slept on from this project. What a record, bro. SZA's vocals, the Luther Vandross sample. What a record, guys. And then he comes from Luther into All the Stars. And I've got to be honest, All the Stars, I believe, is from the Black Panther soundtrack. Him and, this is the original. This is the original, not Black Panther 2. This is the original track, Chadwick Boseman. So look how far back that record was delivered. So it's not new. But the verse, it was almost as if it was included in the diss track package. I mean, I also don't want to leave out. What's he done to the other diss track? Sent me when he's coming down the center. What's the other diss track that he did?
Euphoria.
The second half of Euphoria. My head's gone. It's gone. So he's getting mad. And then he said, should I do the record that everybody wants? You know they love to sue. He's sending jabs left. Now he's gone from sending jabs, yeah, because that A minor chain was rude. It was rude, yeah. The A minor chain was rude. So now he's gone from sending jabs, he's sending haymakers now. He's letting Drake have it. He's put the synth in. We've gone into this nice melodic part. SZA, amazing. She's one of my favorite artists. I can't stop singing her praises. Brilliant yesterday. I really enjoyed the drip. And then he's come back and he's just said, should I do the record? Listen, when Not Like Us dropped, the house had to wake up. Everybody's up now. I'm getting mad. I've got the bars. Do you get what I'm saying? And then he's gone from doing that Not Like Us to the moment that everybody was waiting for. DJ Mustard's come outside. He's in his mustard jacket. Listen, people talk about Kendrick's drip, yeah? I want to say that PG Lang jacket you had on yesterday was quite elite. Mustard's custom jacket was cold. Do you know what I'm saying? The Air Maxes that Kendrick was wearing, I'm a trainer, I'm a sneakerhead. I don't love them Air Maxes. I don't love them. I remember them from way back in the 90s. I don't love them. I feel like they remind me of when Shaq had his Reeboks. I don't know if you remember them, with Shaq's Reeboks, the black and white ones. They reminded me of that. They might have come out before it, but I remember Shaq's ones obviously more, and they reminded me that I didn't love them. And obviously the Chuck Taylor. Listen, I don't know if I already just said this, but I sincerely hope that Converse break off a check for Kendrick, because the promotion last night was insanity. Like, everybody had the Chucks on. And listen, I came away from that show, like the show finishes, I'm still sat in my chair 10 minutes later, the game's playing, I'm not even watching the game. I'm just thinking about what I just seen. And then I'm like, this game is over. The Eagles have just embarrassed Kansas City. It's like, it's some madness. There's no point in me even staying up any later because we're now near 2 a.m. I go to bed. And I know we're going to do this podcast. So I'm thinking, what am I going to say on this podcast? And I'm like, that was amazing. But was that a Super Bowl performance? Like, when you think of Dr. Dre's Super Bowl performance, because Dr. Dre's the only other rapper to have done this Super Bowl performance, yeah? When you think of Dr. Dre's Super Bowl performance, it's like hit after hit after hit, slap after slap after slap. It's like he brings an ensemble of artists that are all top of their genre at one period in time. And it's just like everybody knows these records, but Kendrick's performing records that I haven't even heard. And it's like the other people that are just mainstream people, like, does that go down as a great Super Bowl performance?
I don't know if that encourages some of the fanfare and the commentary, because I feel like, people are always going to watch. A lot of people are going to watch the halftime Super Bowl show, whether you're into American football or not, or whether you're into the artist or not. But Kendrick's performance this year, 2025, is an asterisk, because many people are like, Lil Wayne should have performed because it was in New Orleans. People are saying that, like, maybe he should have brought out Lil Wayne. people are saying, is he gonna perform the Drake diss track? Is he gonna bring out Drake? They're the asterisks by his name. There's also, I think, if you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, you very much enjoyed that performance. If you're not a Kendrick Lamar fan, it's very polarized with people saying it was okay, I didn't like it. Past years, you know, we've had Rihanna, we've had Usher last year, we've had Rihanna the year before, we've had Dr. Dre and the whole gang the year before that, and we've had many artists, but, you know, black artists before. I mean, I don't feel like anyone could touch MJ in 93, but like he's just up there in the stratosphere. Like that's probably the greatest Super Bowl performance. But with this Kendrick Lamar performance, we've actually got people saying this is the worst performance, the worst Super Bowl halftime performance of all time. They weren't saying that about they weren't saying that about Rihanna. They weren't saying that about Dre. They weren't saying that about Usher last year. And this was very eagerly anticipated. I just want to pull up this Twitter post right here. This was the worst halftime show there has ever been, and it's not even debatable. That was trash. I can't even believe they snubbed Lil Wayne for that. The opportunity to sing A minor was absolutely not worth it. Absolutely pack of ass. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to share my thoughts on how I feel about like this Kendrick Lamar performance. It's one of my favorite, but I'm conflicted because I feel like in a time when there's so much things going on in the world, Ukraine, the conflict in Africa, Palestine and Israel, us coming like through the cost of living off the back of COVID. I feel like him performing all right would have been like that rallying cry that would have really touched people. People would have really like, I feel like everyone wanted to hear that song. Let's just get it off. Everyone wanted to hear It's Gonna Be All Right. And that was very much missing from the track list, you know what I mean? The set list. There was other tracks as well, but All Right was definitely, and for someone who's quite like, you know, very lyrical, very about the people, political justice, you know, definitely speaking about like injustices, social injustices. I don't know if we got enough of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I feel like I was a bit kind of conflicted and very much enjoying, but feeling like I was left wanting a little bit. When we got to the part when SZA joined the stage and she performed Luther with him and all of the stars, and then we went into Not Like Us, into TV Off, that was my preference in the performance. I preferred that part. I feel like when SZA joined the stage, it became more anthemic and more stadium-like. So that's where I'm really kind of maybe agreeing with the arguments that was this a Super Bowl halftime show performance? Was this a performance that everybody can appreciate if you're not a Kendrick Lamar fan? So there's some of my questions, even though I very much enjoyed it. Yeah, where I'm coming from.
Definitely. I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I really, infinite reallys was looking forward to hearing We Gonna Be All Right. I probably at 2 a.m. would have been bouncing around off the sofa, etc., when that dropped down. But he did perform that record, I believe, in the Dr. Dre halftime performance. So
that makes it okay that we don't get it for his solo performance.
I can understand it being omitted from the set list. I can understand it being omitted from the set list on that proviso. He's already done that record on this platform. So why is he going to repeat it? It's already there. You can watch
Ness,
it.
Was it a good or a bad thing that he didn't bring out more guests like Black Hippie? He could have brought out Schoolboy Q, Absol, J-Rock. He could have brought out Future for the Like That verse, and that would have added to the trolling as well that we already had with his 2 exes on stage. Drake's 2 exes on stage being SZA and flipping Serena Williams crip walking, which I feel like she was crip walking on Drake's head when they was doing Not Like Us. And then you got freaking the whole freaking how many thousands, nearly 100,000 people singing A minor, the allegations against Drake. So all of that trolling. And then if he would have brought out Future like that verse, do we feel like he could have brought out more guest Ness?
Could have, would have.
Was it a good or bad thing? Was it a good or bad thing that he didn't bring out more guests?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It is what it
is. Was it a good or a bad thing that he didn't bring out more guests?
If you let me answer, I'm going to answer. This was a piece of art. I watched it last night and woke up this morning feeling like I can understand that this was not a Super Bowl performance in terms of appealing to the masses. And then I watched it again this morning before we started this podcast because I just wanted to just have it fresh in my mind rather than be thinking of what I'd been seeing online. And when I watched it back the second time, I appreciated it even more. So I feel like it was very, very brave. It was a very brave performance. And when I say brave, I mean in terms of a rapper. Dr. Dre went out there and put one of the best halftime shows we're probably going to see from a rapper, but he had an entourage with him. This man went out there by himself. And then at a key moment, he tags in his label mate, which is SZA, to add some vocals. He could have brought everybody. He could have turned this, he could have put Black Keepy on stage. He could have turned this into a moment in many different ways. But in a similar way to when Beyonce done the Super Bowl halftime, she had Kelly and that come out, but she didn't turn it into a Destiny's Child thing. It was all about Kendrick in the same way that performance was all about Beyonce. So I stand by what Kendrick done, and I feel like...
But the platform he could have given his brothers, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock and Absol, they would have never seen a platform like that.
But I feel I feel like the words he spoke, or that he kind of rapped it, before he performed Not Like Us, is everything that this performance was about. He said it's about 40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than music. And Kendrick just Kendrick has always been about integrity. He's always been about rap being rap. So if you're going to put me and I'm Kendrick Lamar on the stage, you're putting rap on this stage. You're not putting me trying to pander down to everything that I'm competing against and have an issue with. Because then that would be a double standard. Then all of his basis and his argument against Drake would be invalid, because when you get there, you've done the same thing what everyone else has done. So no, he got there and he did what he said he was going to do back in 2011 or whenever he dropped Good Kid, Mad City. He remained that person. So I feel like we now have to respect the artistry rather than like one of them ones where you're a DJ and you can either play to the crowd or you can play your set and let people respect the artist that you are as the DJ. That's the route he took. Yeah,
he done the latter.
That's the route that he took. And I personally think that is incredibly brave. I feel like you got to put respect on anybody that is willing to, because every stone that gets thrown, he can take it.
It's incredibly brave, and it's a testament to being an artist.
100%.
Look at these two tweets here. Okay, guys, take out Not Like Us. Are you still entertained? Not for the Super Bowl, in my opinion, but maybe I'm alone in this. Another Twitter comment. Kendrick really just used the Super Bowl halftime show to troll Drake, which was fantastic in the context of beef. But as a halftime show, it was actually kinda ... So if you're not a Kendrick Lamar fan, how much do you appreciate this performance?
I can't answer that question because I am.
And would Lil Wayne have brought something so much different to the stage? Yes, he would have brought out Young Money. Yes, he would have brought out Drake. Yes, he would have brought out Nicki Minaj, possibly Tyga. But would the bigger audience, a non-biased audience, a non-Kendrick Lamar audience, fan base, would they have appreciated Lil Wayne on that stage more?
I want to say, given context to everything that I've just said, I want to say that if Lil Wayne had taken that stage yesterday, it would have been a bigger moment, because it's in his hometown. If you look at how Kendrick has empowered the West Coast with Not Like Us and records that followed Not Like Us, even to that whole show that he put on in Inglewood and bringing gang culture, people that have aimed weapons at each other and tried to end lives on the same stage. If you look at how empowering that moment was, the pop out, right? How this would have been the pop out on drugs. This would have been the pop out on the, I mean, I'm not a drugs person, so I can't think of the strongest drug possible, but find the strongest drug possible and times that by 5. This is what it would have been for Wayne, because let's not pretend that like there's not a lot of culture in New Orleans. Like the jazz festival's been there since the beginning of time, or beginning of I can remember. The food that, like, New Orleans is a cultural hub for so much. Wayne taking that stage yesterday would have been a moment, something it would have, I mean, listen, every Super Bowl halftime show goes down in history. So I'm not going to say it would have gone down. Everything goes down in history. Like, it's that, but this would have been special. And then I wonder I feel like if Wayne had taken that stage, he would have had to let Drake perform a couple of Drake's records. He would have had to let Nicki perform a couple of Nicki Minaj records. So it would really have been Wayne / Young Money does the Super Bowl.
Nah, I hear what you're saying, but whether he took the stage in his own right, it being in New Orleans, the home of Lil Wayne, just in case you don't know, or maybe Kendrick could have brought out Lil Wayne, but the question is, would Lil Wayne have accepted that invitation?
Definitely
not. You know, people were whispering, were whispering, was he going to bring out Lil Wayne or was he going to bring out Drake? I feel like that's more
hilarious.
Unrealistic. But let's get into the psyche of Drake, because no matter how much mental strength you have, no matter how strong you are going to be very much aware of that halftime Super Bowl performance from Kendrick Lamar yesterday. All of those people singing A minor, him wearing the A minor chain, your two exes on the stage, Serena Williams crip walking, and SZA very much part of the performance. I don't know if somewhere in Drake's mind he thinks, wow, maybe in this last year when I heard that Kendrick Lamar verse on the Future track like that, and he's talking about F the big three is just big me. I wonder if I would have just ignored that and we would have just kept it still subliminal, how different it would have been now. Because no matter what we say, 2014 into 2015 has very much been etched with the Kendrick Lamar Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef. Do you know what I'm saying?
You might want to add 10 years onto them numbers you just said. 2014 into 20...
Yeah, but I'm... sorry. 2024
we got you, I'm ramping.
Into 2025. So you know what I'm saying?
To answer your question, there's a very massive song that I reckon would do wonderful things at the Super Bowl by Oasis called Don't Look Back in Anger. And I don't think it's possible for Drake to look back in anger. Kendrick warned him. He said, don't tell no lies about me and I won't tell no truths about you. We all remember that line. If it wasn't in, I forget what diss track that was, but it doesn't matter. Whatever diss track that was, he warned him and Drake decided to take it. So now Drake has to wear whatever outfit.
But that was after Like That though. That was after the Future track featuring Kid. That was after.
Yes. But
that all of that wouldn't have came if Drake just ignored the Like That verse.
Drake put push-ups. Yeah, Drake put push-ups. He put push-ups out. I hear what you're saying. Okay, it was after Drake had already responded. But the bottom line is this. It was impossible. It was impossible because let's ignore artists. Let's just talk about hip-hop culture. If you claim on multiple records, and this is why so many people, myself included, took issue with J. Cole. If you claim on multiple records that you are him, you are the undisputed heavyweight champion of the microphone, and somebody calls your name, if you don't respond, it's stewed beef, bro.
If somebody calls your name, but maybe Drake could have left that F the big three is just big me and just said, yeah, whatever, innit? Because you ain't directly called me. You're alluding to me, but you ain't directly. It's semantics.
I don't have the whole like that verse, but he said you did J. Cole foul. He called his name, bro. That diss was as direct as the Control verse. He called names, bro. And this is, when we're talking about beef, you got to remember who we're talking about. Kendrick is not the play guy. He's not the play. The only line that I can really remember off like that was a moment in hip hop was when Kendrick said at the BET Cypher, I put the emotional rapper back in his feelings again or back in the box again. Something along them lines. And everyone's like, ooh, he going for Drake. But other than that, Kendrick's calling your name, guys. He's calling your name.
But you know what, Ness?
Go.
Drake bounces back, doesn't he? Does he? In music.
And this is why this whole Party Next Door album that he drops is going to be really interesting. But in music, I don't feel like he loses too much. Like, let's not pretend that Pusha T did not put a dent in Drake's rap credentials with the story of Adidon. Let's not pretend that moment didn't happen. And Drake's career continued to soar. So this beef with him and Kendrick Lamar was never going to end his career. It was never going to do that. But what it was supposed to do is we don't ever want to hear, and I put myself in, I don't ever want to hear Drake call himself the man in terms of being the best rapper alive again. That's all this stops. What do you feel differently?
Nah, you're right, man. But I just want to say, wrapping up this
We
this
don't, no cap here,
Super Bowl show for 2025. Of course, it's on site. wrapping up this 2025 halftime Super Bowl show. Salute to Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? We loved it as Kendrick Lamar fans. Maybe others didn't that weren't Kendrick Lamar fans. A lot of fanfare online, people saying it's the worst performance. A lot of people loving it, very polarizing. A lot of things to say. It's going to be like that. It's a big platform. It's a big audience. You know what I'm saying? We enjoyed it. It was one for the culture. He lived up to the pressure. He delivered. Everything, man. Everything. Loads of Easter eggs there. If you want to watch it back so many times, you can see a lot of those Easter eggs in there as well. But you know what I'm saying? Salute Kendrick on the Super Bowl halftime show for 2025.
Hey, big up.
You feel the same?
100%, 100%. And while we're saluting, there's one salute we got to do, man. We've lost someone in hip hop that is, you know, a very important part of, let's say, the late 90s into early noughties, man. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti, a great producer, great record producer. You know, one of the co-founders of Murder Inc., which later had to turn into the Inc. because the FBI came in swinging. I mean, listen, man, if you check out his discography, it really speaks for itself. His records will live for many, many years beyond all of us, and that's a credit to the talent that he was. I'm not going to front. I will say this because I don't want everyone, when we lose people, we pretend that, you know, butter wouldn't melt in their mouth. A very polarizing guy. He rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. But Beanie Man once said a quote that I will never forget. If people don't like you, then God don't love you. Make sense of that as you will, man. So listen, condolences out to the family and everybody, you know, close to him. But listen, man, shouts out to Irv Gotti, man. Rest in peace.
When you're a businessman like Irv Gotti, you're gonna be ballsy and you're gonna rub up people the wrong way. It's just the nature of the game. But he definitely founded Murder Inc. Records in '98 and helped the early careers of Jay-Z, DMX, and you would always see him with Ja Rule. And his label definitely put on people to Ashanti and Lloyd. And I just want to go through some of his classics just in case you ain't like fully aware, man. What's Love, Fat Joe Ashanti, I'm Real, and Ain't It Funny, Jennifer Lopez and Ja Rule, those remixes, crazy. Always on Time by Ja Rule, Foolish by Ashanti, Gangsta Lovin' by Eve and Alicia Keys, and Wonderful by Ja Rule. They're just some of the bangers, just some of the big bangers. If you go to a party around anywhere in the world, you're likely to hear some of them songs and people definitely celebrate that, man. So salute Irv Gotti, rest in peace, the legacy lives.